Hi there, everybody. My name is Daniele Rossi, and I am a digital strategist who is also a cartoonist. And tonight, I figured, hey, why not, in the spirit of the upcoming Stuttering Awareness Week, I'm going to do a preview, a live stream of a preview of a graphic novel that consists of maybe five or six short stories that I'll be drawing for stuttering. It's a stuttering themed book. I do speak with a stutter. Right now, you're not hearing me stutter, except just now, because I'm just speaking by myself. It's a weird phenomenon, but the book that I created. So let me just flip the camera. How do I flip the camera like this? Here, this is the book that I created, self-published last year. So it contains my comics, and these are tips, survival tips for people that stutter. So I call it Stuttering is Cool, which is the name of my podcast. And it's a guide to stuttering in a fast-talking world. So you see my main character, Frankie Banky. So I thought that my next book will be comic book. Look, conveniently sign up for the email newsletter, but we'll talk about that after. So here's my book so far. So I'm gonna go page by page, and I'm also gonna go, I guess, panel by panel, so you can actually read it. So my part of my reason for doing this is to gauge some feedback from readers, whether you stutter or you don't. This book is also meant to help others that stutter deal with their stuttering in a positive way, and to still lead lives, positive lives, doing whatever that they want to do in their lives, and not let their stuttering get in the way, but also to spread awareness as well. So here's the first story, and let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow, or if you can't even see it or read it, or if you want me to shut up. In the meantime, you're probably hearing music in the background, and that's just some public domain scratchy jazz that I got from archive.org. So this first story takes place in a jazz bar. Jazz, as you probably noticed, is one of my favorite genres, along with electronic dance music and such. So what you see here are cats. It's a cat cartoon that I created a few years ago. So we see Frankie Banky, who's the name of the fox. He's the one that stutters. And so I'm going to go on to the next page. And what you're going to notice is you're going to see all of my mistakes and such. So this is actually very raw right here. So you can see the whiteout that I applied here. So I think you can actually see. I don't think I need to go close up to a panel. So what this whole gag here in this story is that Frankie Banky is singing a blues song. Dun 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 dun. That's what this part here is. I actually have a friend that I forgot the term, but transcribed the music for me. So that should be dun 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 dun. So he starts, tonight I wanted a burger, dun 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 dun, with ketchup on the side. So that kind of stuff. So so you can see here I have the blue pen here to remind me to basically copy and paste, just because my handwriting isn't that great. So this is the rest of the song. And this is part of the awareness that I was talking about, where I thought it would be great if Frankie Banky's song just talks about the stuttering experience. So just to give you some background, only 1% of people in the world stutter, it is said. It tends to be hard to find others that stutter in your immediate geographical area, so we tend to grow up alone in our stuttering, feeling like we're the only ones who stutter. But thank goodness for the internet, now we can meet stutterers from all over the world and help each other out. So this is the continued song. Let me see if I could sharpen the picture a bit. Nope. So I cover all of the common misconceptions, like stuttering is caused by lack of intelligence or fear or people not breathing. which is totally not true. Excuse me, I also have a cold. Stuttering is caused, it's neurological in origin, and it's also, and there's a lot of evidence that it's genetics based. You know, for example, my grandfather and his two sisters stuttered. Let's move on to the next page where we have an epic banjo solo. And the banjo, the reason for me choosing a banjo was actually a um, crowdsourced thing where I asked on my Stuttering is Cool Facebook page, hey, which instrument do you want him to play? So banjo was the one that won. So here we have another character who's introduced. Yeah, my characters tend to be abstract. The song continues, and I guess I'll turn it now. I'll be uploading this to YouTube after, so if you're watching this on YouTube, it means you can pause if you want to read anything. So here's my way of showing both the fact that stutterers tend to stutter a lot on their names, myself included, and it takes a long time to stutter. So there's also practice and patience, not only for the listener, but for me to draw it. And then here's the embarrassment that we always feel when we can't say our own names. You'd be amazed how often we're asked that we forget our names. So up comes the next contender for the blues amateur night. And so what I wanted to do was, since Frankie Banky's song was so sad and so depressing, that I wanted to show the positive side. Yes, there is a positive side to stuttering, and that's basically what I talk about in my book that I showed you before, Stuttering is Cool, and on my podcast of the same name. So in this case, Bilodo, which is his name, he is singing a very fast swing song. These musical notes don't mean anything, but if any musicians in the audience can play music, hey, I'm curious to see what randomness I created. Anyway, Bilodo is singing a very fast swing song tune where he's just saying what he's singing now, but he's talking, and this is the cheesy part. Where is it? That I have it here. Oh yeah, baby, I just stuttered. My kisses will melt you like butter. Just a very silly Eric's very silly song. I don't consider myself a songwriter by any stretch of the imagination, but I just wanted to get across a few things. You know, the funny looks that we get when we stutter to strangers, and you know, hey, there's a lot of other stuff that we can offer to people. Excuse me, sorry for coughing. There's no way to pause this, so the song continues, and this is actually the end of the first story, where it ends up. Hey, it's so weird that we have two people that show up that stutter, going back to the 1% thing of the population that stutters. And yes, is there a stuttering conference in town or something? And they both reply yes. And in fact, that's the whole theme of the book. All the short stories take place at a stuttering conference. So in between my short stories, I'm planning this area, which I'm gonna have, which I guess I'm gonna call cartoonist's notes, where I'm gonna explain a few things. You know, some of the stuttering myths, some of my thinking process behind the story, and then I'll have maybe like a small related drawing. So in this case, because they put themselves out there, they didn't let their stuttering get in the way, they get all of the female fans. So here's the next story that I'm currently working on. So this is about, I think, 10 pages, I think I reached, or 7, something like that. It's a very long story, and it's not even finished. So I'm going to warn you now, there's a cliffhanger here. So I'll just zoom up here so you can read my chicken scratch. And no, this is not based on a true story, but I have gone to stuttering conferences, and they're amazing. They're a lot of fun. You make a lot of great friends. If there's anyone in my audience that stutters, I highly recommend attending. There's one coming up in July in the United States. check out westutter.org and you'll have the details there. So actually, these two people are friends of mine. They're very bad caricatures. One is my friend Grant in Australia, and the other one is my friend Bobby in Boston. So they're walking. So if you haven't been able to read because I keep babbling, so they're walking back from the hotel. I mean, back from the jazz bar, and yeah, going straight to the hotel. This here will come up very often. Bilodeau is a severe stutterer, and you see the stomping that he does to get the word out that he's trying to say. That's what we call secondaries in stuttering. It's a common thing that sort of turns into a habit that we do. Either you're blinking your eyes, or you're stamping your foot, or other exaggerated movements from other body parts when you try to get the word out that your body's not letting out, just like what I did right now. Anyway, there's some more stuttering humor here, and this is sort of a tribute to Bill Keane, creator of the Family Circus comics. I hope I don't get sued. So the story continues, and there's some intrigue, and yes, 3 a.m. Back at the Stuttering conferences, yeah, friendships really forge very quickly, and yeah, we're partying every night. So some more artwork, like stuttering fine arts. So what I'm trying to do to show the timing that it takes, how long it takes for us to say things. And then over here, some more awareness, stuttering conferences. You're in with like at least 100 other people, and up to 1,000 if you go to the ones in the States. Everybody stutters, and you feel amazing. You're not the only one in the world that stutters, and you're the majority. You make all these cool friends in all these cool jobs, doing things that you'd never imagine that people who stutter could do. And you can't help but be inspired by them and motivated. So here's Frankie Benke just relishing his first conference, stuttering conference, and suddenly he sees something, and you see him running out the door, out of the hotel. This is a mistake. I accidentally smudged it. So yeah, so it's a good thing that I scanned the page before I smudged it. But so he runs outside and he sees this big fight happening. And it's Bilodeau and two weird creatures. So yeah, my abstract shows up again. So I'm gonna shut up for now to give you a chance to read a bit. There's not really much to read, which is probably a good thing. And it's also a bad thing because this took me a while, maybe about a month, to draw all this stuff, and I show it to you like within a couple of minutes. So here's the next scene, and I'll zoom in so you can read. So those are actually robots that are hovering. I really hope you could tell. So some more stuttering fine art, as you'll see. And some, awareness here. People think that we're scared. And, it is true. Some women do find stuttering very attractive. I think it has to do with appearing confident despite vulnerability. So this part here, I really wish Periscope worked sideways because I hate vertical video, and at least this way I could show you the whole panel. Artistically speaking, I was trying to show Frankie Benke's thought patterns while Bilodeau was stuttering, and in fact, not just stuttering but disclosing his stuttering, which is something that we're not but like it tends to be a difficult thing to reveal, to tell someone that we stutter, even though it sounds like such a very simple thing to do. Yet it's kind of like, I'm not sure why. I mean, even though I did it myself growing up, that I was just afraid to reveal that I stutter, like it's this big horrible secret, which it's not. It's not something that is our fault or anyone's fault. Just something that we do, that our brain does. So over here I want to show that, Frankie Banky is being inspired and learning from others that stutter, that, it's okay to say that you stutter. And of course, I have to include some romance, so Bilodo does fall in love with the robot, which to her partner's chagrin, so I hope there's some intrigue in there. So as you can see, we're almost done with the story. And I'm just going to get comfortable here because my foot's falling asleep. So here is the full page that's out of focus. So Frankie Banky is a bit angry right here. So he's saying, Mr. Big, who or what, and all that stuff. But you can read. And once again, I have some fine art happening here. I like how I call it fine art. And then you'll see that I have something here. That's actually pencil. Originally, I was going to have the thought bubble or the speech bubble happening there. But when I was inking, I realized, it makes sense if they're both saying Stella. And the name Stella was also crowdsourced. I created a female character and I asked for a name, and the suggestion was Stella because it was close to the word stutter, which I thought was cute. So she comes to rescue them, and Mr. Big comes in. And there's some triangle happening here, possible triangle, who knows, or rather jealousy there. Who's this girl? Or the girl? And then comes, so I was actually penciling this yesterday. I inked it this evening before going live with this broadcast. So here's this one here. So some wearable technology humor here. Now, in case you can't read, it says high-tech socks that your military developed, which give the wearer invisibility and the ability to jump really high when activated. Come on, you know all this, Bilodo. And you see that then I have to still continue. So, excuse me for coughing again. I gotta ink in and include the stuttering in. Usually I pencil in the stutter, but sometimes I don't. I just do it freehand. And you'll notice here that Stella is worrying about, oh great, another speaking situation, which she did back here. Oh great, another speaking situation, which is something that us stutterers, we tend to worry about whenever we have a speaking situation to deal with. It's like, oh, I'm gonna stutter. People are gonna give me some bad looks, and I gotta keep resilient and such. So, with all the embarrassing stuff that stuttering gives us, gives us resilience. And I just realized I gotta finish inking here. I forgot. I have the background here, but not there. So that's it. Thank you for joining me. And if you want to keep in touch of when my book will be available, here's my newsletter. Or just keep an eye on Periscope. I really like this. I think I'm going to do another progress report. So until then, I should probably sharpen a picture. Until then, if you stutter, may your stuttering be with confidence. And if you don't stutter, I don't know. You know what? If you don't stutter, give stuttering a try. Give it a try. Do some voluntary stuttering to take a walk in our shoes a bit. You'll be surprised at what happens. So I'm going to stop the broadcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.